today. From U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, it's a special New Year's Eve edition of the NFL on EA Sports. And the Minnesota.
"22 men ready to do battle. It's time to dance." And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. This taken in at the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Minnesota's offense and QB Kirk Cousins set to go here.
Well, the silver lining from last week, he played phenomenally. Kept the ball clean and led them to the end zone several times. You know these NFL quarterbacks, though, they trade away all those touchdowns if it meant getting the win. That's his focus this week.
First play, here's Cousins. And his first look is incomplete. For these two division rivals, the schedule maker gave them a couple of second-half meetings this year. They met for the first time back in Week 11. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Off the play fake, Cousins rolling to his left. Throw left side, taken in by Jefferson. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. Well, this defense for the Lions, they were very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week, because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct. That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
So on 4th down, Ryan Wright on to punt for Minnesota. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. Taking it about the 36. So a good punt there, but a very strong 14-yard return. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. On the counter, it's Taylor. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down. So, Charles, you know, for this offense, we've been talking all year about how difficult it would be to run the table. And you gave me your chances early in the year. You thought maybe 25%. A few weeks ago, you thought closer to 50, but not quite 50. Now here they are, 15-0. This is happening, isn't it?
I think it is, Brandon, because I do believe this team is too invested, too well coached to fall asleep at the switch now. And I think it ultimately benefits them to stay engaged all the way through the season, because make it to the finish line, then they get the open week to refresh and re-energize. But if you get off the gas now, that can really hurt you come playoff time.
First and 10, Taylor now. And just good downhill running there as he'll take this to the 15-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays. So back-to-back big runs picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage. there clearing space.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Buying time to his left. And a loose football.
Hey, we can preach ball security all we want here, but how about that effort on defense? Excellent job inside the red zone. Just took away at least 3 points by forcing that fumble.
The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. They'll take over after that pretty clutch forced fumble as they begin inside their own 5-yard line. Cousins now after the fumble recovery. He rifles one that's intercepted. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football.
And that's what we've seen from this defense all year long because they've been so good at finding ways to take the football away. And they just gave us another example right here. A strong defense, that's something you're going to need to rely on come playoff time. And this crew has got one. There's no doubt about that, Brandon.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call. So roughing the passer penalty. An automatic 1st down.
And that's the mark of a bad team, partner, because that's an easily preventable penalty, but they just didn't take the proper steps to make it so.
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a 1st and goal trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win here.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Kyle Pitts, his 25th touchdown. Tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Lions use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
You got to figure down by the goal line. This is where a tight end earns his money, in the high traffic area. And he's able to work free in the middle of the end zone and grabs that one for a touchdown.
Michael Badgley on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and the Lions lead 7-0. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. And now out comes Minnesota. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford.
Now Cook hit and he lost the football. And the Lions have recovered.
Well, my friend, this has certainly been a comedy of errors here in the first quarter. Neither side able to really hang on to the ball.
Yeah, now I'm just curious to see which team can adjust, because both have made their mistakes, as you said.
Yeah, and whoever can do that can seize firm control of this game, something they haven't done with the ball so far.
Here comes Jonathan Taylor and his teammates. Man, those numbers from last week. What do you call a game like that? Monumental? A career game?
Yeah.
And in for the Lions touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Those are the touchdowns that aren't just scored on Sundays or on Monday night. Those are the ones that are scored during the week because they had that preparation in a great route run.
Oh, I love that observation, because you don't just roll out on game day and say, okay, go run this route and let's get it done. That means exactly what you said. The practice had to occur beforehand, which led to the timing, which led to the touchdown.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. Dalvin Cook taking the field for the Vikings' next possession. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. One carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball. Got a full game ahead of him. Hand it to him again. See if they can start to produce.
They'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. For the Lions, an extra DB in the game now here on 3rd down. To throw is Cousins. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
A first down throw for Cousins. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also,
and the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Aiden Hutchinson has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, partners, the first quarter, too early to start talking about needing a comeback. They're down 2 touchdowns already, and that sack, that disrupts this drive. They need something to go right on offense, and they need it to happen soon.
Throw caught there by Osborne. And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. It'll be a loss of 2 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright. This will be fielded at the 17. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and the Lions will take over. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they, if you just look at this game, Charles, on paper, they've got the edge, no doubt. They're hanging around the top of the NFC. On the other side, you got a squad that's towards the bottom of the NFC. But when we mentioned that to the coaches, they were having no part of it.
Yeah, and I like how you said when we mentioned it. In fact, I mentioned it, and I upset them a little bit, didn't I? Because they wanted no part of that one, and I was reminded, like a 5-year-old. This
launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
And, partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. This one into the hands of Pitts. Touchdown, Detroit. Kyle Pitts, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Lions have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to his second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now 21-0. Pretty clean and simple there. Just 2 plays. The long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes. And deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And they'll be at the 18-yard line. Great field position here in the red zone. So problems compounding themselves here on the return. They just give up the touchdown, and now they lose the football.
Yeah, partner, things are starting to unravel a little bit for them right in front of our eyes. They're going to be looking for some answers and quickly.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
As a linebacker, you're taught to stay just slightly behind the ball carrier just in case he makes a cutback. But when you find the gap, shoot it. And he found it all right. Took it straight into the backfield and made the tackle for a loss.
And this defense going to bring out a couple extra DBs here on 3rd and a yard. They'll try and run for the first with Taylor. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They'll run here with Taylor. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. Jonah Jackson, former 3rd-round pick, the guilty party. 21-0 our score after 1. A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. On the move to his left. And he'll get into the end zone. Troy. Desmond Ridder. A 15-yard touchdown run. And the Lions continue to pull away here in this first half. Well, you talk about a team coming into an opposing stadium and just taking the life right out of a crowd. That's what we're witnessing here. 27-0 Charles.
And this defense, they've just looked completely unprepared for what's been thrown at them. And you know they're supposed to adjust series to series. That has not happened for them, so I don't think halftime adjustments are going to help a heck of a lot. They are in major trouble unless they figure out something really fast.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. Well, including this week, 3 weeks remain in the regular season, Charles, and it is going to be interesting to see how this playoff picture sorts itself out before we head into the postseason.
Competitive, entertaining postseason, that's what we're always striving for. But I think we get it during the regular season, too, because you never know how things are going to go during the final weeks of the season. Every team pulling out all the stops to get a better seed or just to get one of those 7 seats at the table.
This to the sideline and over everybody. Incomplete. No flags forthcoming, though. Maybe a break there. That looked like a clear throwaway to me.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender. But the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw, Cousins. And that will be incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down. And here's Ryan Wright now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of the Detroit Lions getting set for another series here. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. 59 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. For a lot of people, MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. It's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game too.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked by Cameron Bynum. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. So the interception there. And, Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football, because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
On 2nd and 12, Cousins. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Open man is Osborne. He's got it. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. And here's Ryan Wright now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Here comes Jonathan Taylor and his teammates. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. Second down, another run with Taylor. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And Taylor, I don't think he got there. No, he did not. Unable to break free, and he's marked short. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Trying to punch it in with Taylor. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. They go to the ground again with Taylor. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Martin, I think he's got to be careful as he continues to try to extend plays because he's already been intercepted in this game. And the coverage, they continue to challenge all of his receivers downfield.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Being chased out left. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Evident there that he learned his lesson from the last drive. No way he was going to force a throw that time. When nothing broke open, kept it, and ended up running for a first down himself.
Running straight ahead, Taylor down at the 35. It'll be second down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. On the handoff, this is Taylor. And able to get this to the 24-yard line. They began the play at the 12. It's also a pickup of 12 for the first down. 94 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Jonathan Coachman will be alongside. He'll have highlights and analysis from Orlando of this first half of action. Now a handoff. Taylor with it. Oh, and fine work there as he gets this thing down to the 11-yard line. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Now a give to Taylor. And he's brought down. 10 more there and another first down. They'll look to run with Taylor. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Jonathan Taylor. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Lions have taken a 5-touchdown lead. So he had the nice run to get him down there. Was stopped just short of the goal line. But they go right back to him, CD. And he delivers to finish the drive off.
A little extra determination there, don't you think, partner? You notice he didn't tap on his helmet and say, get me out after the run down to the end zone. He said, I almost got in. I'm going to get in on my own. I'm staying in. And he carries it across the goal line.
Badgley on for the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it was capped off by a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Cousins now. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. 3rd down, here's a run by Cook. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. It'll be a gain of 7, but I'd imagine we'll see the punt team here on 4th down. And here's Ryan Wright now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Now a play fake here on 1st down. They'll roll him out right. Oh, a leap, and he will make the catch. The Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Jamison Williams, 30 yards. And the Lions will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, 2nd year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the 2nd-year quarterback.
The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. And the Vikings going to take over here one more time before the half. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Cousins on 1st down. And he fends him off, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. So we've reached halftime here on New Year's Eve as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started up at Lambeau. Denver in town to take on Green Bay. And that one tied 14 apiece in the 2nd quarter. From there, we'll head down to Charlotte to check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And you can see there is the visiting Colts who have the lead in that one. Alec Pierce, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get you to MetLife Stadium to see what's happening with the Giants at home in East Rutherford. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting New Orleans Saints. Geno Smith.
All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early. The final 2 quarters of the NFL regular season are upon us as the 2nd half of Week 17 is underway. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And the Lions getting set to go on offense to start the 3rd. They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles. And, I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the 3rd quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field.
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown. Jamison Williams with career touchdown number 60. And the Lions come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And he's got this to Jefferson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously, for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Play action now. Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And, oh, that would get a wind up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. 3rd down coming up.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Jamison Williams out onto the field as his guys take over on offense. He's having a day here in quarter number 3. Over 100 yards, couple touchdowns. Every receiver's hope for when they head into that game in the National Football League.
And his team is loving what he's giving them. Of course, the yardage is terrific, but I think it's what you mentioned, the 2 touchdowns. That's the big one because he's paying off his results downfield.
And still more time here. Third quarter, we'll see what else he has in store for us. Open man right side is St. Brown. And that's on big Mekhi Becton, first-round pick in 2020. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Slot man moves right. And the slot man goes in motion left. He'll drop to throw. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And he is going to lose yardage here. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
And in for the Lions, touchdown. Kyle Pitts 74 yards. And the Lions are pouring it on.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
Well, I have to admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit here trying to make sense of what I just saw. Number one, huge lead. Just kick the extra point and be done with it. Number two, if you are going to go for two, just line up and go for it from the 2-yard line. Why make it so difficult? That's a long way to go to try and pick up some points.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. And now out comes Minnesota.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
On play action, Cousins. And complete right side to Cook. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
2nd and 6.
They go play action. Cousins out to his left.
Right back to Cook for another completion.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. It's a gain of 35.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far. And never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
Play fake. Cousins. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Miles Jack. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins. He finds his man. Complete. It's Osborne. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 22-yard line. A new set of downs after a strong pickup of 16 yards. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Cousins. That's to Cook out of the backfield. 2 yards on the pickup there, and it's 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
Oh, puts it on the carpet, it's out, and this is scooped up by the Lions. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame the offensive players for not taking care of it. How about the effort of the defensive players knowing that guys are going to, and if they're good, anticipate the contact coming and try and cover up the football. And they still find ways to knock it free.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
And some good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line.
And the offense moving quickly to the line.
Back to Taylor on 1st down.
And some room to maneuver. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30.
Again, it's Taylor.
And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return. With more after this, you're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On 3rd down, here's Taylor.
And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense.
And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown.
Jonathan Taylor
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Lions are closing in on that 16-0 record as they add on to their lead.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
1st down, here's Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down.
Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the 4th quarter with how wide this advantage is, For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Throwing, Cousins.
Justin Jefferson bringing in the slant. And he's going to get this down near the 25. Well, a touchdown here on this drive, it wouldn't really put much of a dent in the score, the deficit right now. But as you mentioned in the past, CD, their coach is probably just hoping to see something executed correctly on this drive before we close out the ball game.
Yeah, and I think that every guy who's on the field has to feel exactly the same way, because if not, they might be looking for replacements. Treat every drive as if it's your last and make it a successful one in some small way.
They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. From the red zone now, Cousins. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. Chase Young just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Cousins under pressure, and they got to him again.
Aiden Hutchinson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Well, it's obvious, but I can't help but say it here. It's never a good day when the opposing defense has more sacks than you have points. The win seems likely, but this defense is still playing for something here. They see that 0 on the scoreboard, and they don't want that to change.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. They'll look to throw here. Setting up the screen for Cook.
And he'll be brought down at the 27.
Yeah, and on 3rd down, you know those pass rushers, they're in the starter's block. They're just waiting for the pistol to fire. You can almost hear the defensive coaches on the sideline pre-snap. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Really good job there of identifying it and making the play to force 4th down.
Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes Jonathan Taylor and his teammates.
He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you, someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can do it. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
Wow, 213 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. They run once more with Taylor.
And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Haven't been a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job. Hold him to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on 1st down.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And the Vikings are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. That one thrown away from the pocket. And the officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. On 2nd and 10, Cousins. Catch is made by Hockenson, the tight end. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Back of the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And his kick is indeed good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. That one looks like he'll throw here. He's airing it out for Williams. And that's caught inside the 35. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. They're going to look to throw. That's going to be caught by Pitts. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Another touchdown here in the 4th quarter. And, Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And, partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams. And that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Well, this was a blowout supported by both sides of the ball today, Charles. It would be easy to look at the offense and say, man, they were clicking, and they were, but don't forget about the effort by this defense as well.
Yeah, they weren't going to let up just because the lead was safe. They wanted to play as big a part in this game as their offense did in making this blowout. They needed to be noticed as well, and they played accordingly.
So for Detroit, they're a win away now from running the table here in the regular season. They moved to 16-0.